welcome back to Blender Spatial Live. In this episode, I'll be doing improvisations with Blender Grease Pencil. So I will be using Blender 3.6 and also Blender 4.1 because in the latest Blender Experimental 4.1, we have Grease Pencil version 3 where we can actually apply modifier, geometry nodes modifier. So 3.6 and 4.1. 3.6 is the stable one, the official one, I think. So I will delete everything, select all, A, X, delete all, right? Let's save this very quickly. Grease version 3, or I don't know, just Grease Doodle. Shift A, Grease Pencil, blank. So we're gonna start blank and we're gonna draw. Go enter the draw mode and set the radius and the strength. I like the slightly thicker radius. And let's draw a shape from an angle from the side view. Let's say we are creating, maybe, I don't know, you can draw a shape like a dinosaurs. It could be a car. Just a stroke like this, right? It's from, and if you rotate the camera, middle mouse button, you can see it's drawn on that plane. If you hit tab, go to edit mode, as we already know, we can select this grease pencil like points, and I can move it to the side, and I can move also to the side view like that. Like I duplicate it and just move it in the x-axis. The cool thing about grease pencil, I like grease pencil a lot because because grease pencil is almost like ideal, and grease pencil is working in spatial, you know, like it works in 3D space. Although sometimes you might get slightly disoriented if you draw a stroke, you don't know where it actually draws. You can imagine, okay, it's actually being drawn on the origin. It's not using the 3D cursor, but it's drawn in the origin on the view angle where you are drawing. So it's actually, when you draw grease pencil in the 3D space like this, it is actually planar. So that's actually really useful in many cases. In this case, we have these shapes, these dinosaurs with 4 legs, and we can connect the dots, right? Okay, you probably didn't know, you can connect the dots by using strokes. So stroke placement is going to be stroke, and we're going to use, instead of all points, we're going to use the end points or just the first point. Snap only to I think the end points the most useful. If you use all points, what's going to happen is if you draw this, you know, this line, what's going to happen is the line is going to be projected and you get that kind of shapes. You probably want that. Sometimes you don't want this to happen. Sometimes you want that. So to keep that in mind, you probably want just the end points. So the first and end points. So grease pencil can connect from this point into that points without, you know, just connecting the first and last. That's probably what kind of expected behavior. So if you're drawing from this line to that lines, or just the top one, you're gonna get that points. And this is cool. This is really quite cool because it's almost like you're planning in 3D, right? If you want to draw the dinosaur's face, however, okay, it's slightly tricky, right? Let's say you want to put an eyeballs there. You can use 3D cursor for that. I think it's probably easier if we draw some kind of helper. Maybe we draw that. And then we draw, okay, these points to that points. That's going to be planar, right? So I'm drawing that lines. this and that and that. That's gonna be centered. So I can delete. I select these points and then Command L and then delete the rest of the points. We get that one. This eyes is exactly where it's supposed to be. Okay. So let's see. I draw that. I draw that. So I like this method. I think the closest to this kind of approach is if you are using Feather 3D app. I wish it has Blender add-on. Maybe they're working on it. We don't know. But this makes drawing in 3D, in a spatial 3D, seems to be easier. And I like drawing. I like doodling with strokes. You know, like I do like Zentangles kind of things. And oftentimes this is kind of interesting, and even though it's just lines, it's very simple. But we can connect the lines and we can draw connecting lines like this. It's like Zentangles. And if you're doing Zentangles, you know, everything you draw is pretty much gonna be like an art, even though it seems simple, but it's not. Oh, anyway, I talked too much about this in okay, this is Blender 3.6.7. Let's actually jump to Blender 4. Let's close this. Let's go to Blender 4 Alpha. Let's open this. So we're gonna do a little bit of grease pencil, just a simple one. Normally grease pencil doesn't work on grease pencil, but as you might see here, I'll show you. So Blender 4.1 Alpha, still loading. Okay, let's open up this blend file. Okay, it's gonna be a kind of invisible. Maybe it's my Mac OS thing, but it's invisible if you deselect it. Let's save this very quickly as 2x, so because I'm using new Blender. In this version of Blender, we actually have Grease Pencil 3. It's different from before. If I create an empty Grease Pencil and I draw something, we can't see the stroke. Maybe it's a Mac OS thing. Maybe they're still working on it. So anyway, I draw a stroke. So we have this Grease Pencil and this Grease Pencil that's kind of hidden. You might notice, however, I can select geometry nodes. I can go to geometry nodes and I can convert to mesh, curve to mesh, circle. This kind of new features, and I really believe there's supposed to be a stroke there. But anyhow, let's get back to our doodles. This guy, we cannot just use Grease Pencil because this is the old Grease Pencil. However, if you convert this to curve, we got curve, right? And then with this curve, if you right click and convert this into Grease Pencil 3, we can now use geometry nodes and then just apply what we created earlier. Okay. We get this. It's not new. It's almost like you converting Grease Pencil into curve and from curve back into Grease Pencil. But currently it is actually still a grease pencil. Oh, okay. This is a new grease pencil. This is the old one. Okay, maybe highlight. Maybe okay. Let's see. This is the curve. Right click, convert to grease pencil 3. Oh, it is actually a curve. Oh well. My point is, if you are using the new grease pencil, you should be able to operate on it. I wonder. Yeah, I wonder why it doesn't work with this. Anyhow, we should have just stay with Blender 3.6, I guess. So anyhow, we have this ability to turn the grease pencil into curve, and then at this point you can actually operate on mesh. So this is a curve, right? Edit mode, and okay, then we can use resample based on the length. Resample curve based on the length. I doesn't seem to like this. Okay, let's get back to 3.6. 4.0, supposedly 4.1 can generate grease pencil using geometry nodes, and that's actually, it's really powerful, just because you have the ability to draw using grease pencil while at the same time you can use geometry nodes. And so okay, what is this? How well, convert to grease pencil. So curve, stick with curve, I guess, for now. Convert curve to mesh, circle, file, save as. Radius, resolution 4, resample 0.02, 0.01. Let's count. How about the length? Okay. Fill the caps. This is a curve. We can go to edit mode. We don't have draw like yeah, we can paint the radius, which is kind of cool. We can draw on surface. We can draw on the surface like this. edit, draw. Okay, the behavior is slightly off to what I'm trying to do, but anyhow, we have geometry nodes. We can remesh, smooth shading. Okay, duplicate this, right click, convert to mesh, sculpt, inflate. Okay, this kind of thing, you know, it's not an app, but I wish this could be an app for Apple Vision Pro, you know, like an actual like spatial way of working, and just you doodle in 3D and then just inflate it into some kind of balloon. I'm pretty sure someone will actually make this. It just seems like a lot of fun. What's missing, of course, this is like a wireframe of an object, but in reality sometimes you want this to have some kind of thickness, so you want to draw the planes, and there are methods to do that, to just draw and turn it into a mesh, draw a planar. It's just I haven't found it the easiest method. You know, it could be automatic, kind of like drawing like a quilt. I think at some point I actually talk about it, and there's a simpler method to do that, but just like drawing a polygon, right? Like a regular topology. But for now, I guess we just gonna leave it at this stage. So duplicate it, right, convert to mesh. And go to sculpt mode. Mesh filter, inflate. Mesh filter, inflate actually make that kind of similar to cloth, but it's inflating it without cloth simulations. Expand, oh, oops. Okay, inflate. If all the lines kind of connected, if all these lines kind of connected, you're gonna get more interesting results. Like the eyeballs probably needs to be connected. So if we actually draw a curve, a simple curve, set curve radius. I think I need to set curve radius here. Yeah, so this is the behavior that I was thinking. So we need to specify the exact curve radius there, I guess, and then we can start drawing. We cannot connect like before, but we can draw on the surface. So this is we continue with the drawing the strokes, just like grease pencil. But it's just slightly, because we cannot connect between first and end points of the curve like before. I'm just gonna doodles. Okay. So from here, right click, convert to mesh, again, sculpt, inflate. There we go. Slightly bizarre kind of workflow. It's very abstract, kind of 3D. But I like it. I like it. So grease pencil and geometry nodes and cloth simulations, kind of, this could be just an app, a simpler app that works in spatial inside something like Apple Vision Pro or maybe Meta VR glass, whatever. But this could be an app. Okay, maybe someone out there look at this. Okay, I can make an app for that. So please do make an app like that. Okay, so that's pretty much my doodling. Hopefully you find it useful. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.